Good morning, or is it afternoon? Right now for me it's afternoon on Sunday. Anyway, you're very welcome to this lesson. Today the focus is the IELTS speaking test. So we'll first have an overview and then we will have a look at some phrasal verbs. Okay, so I hope you learned something and enjoy. Right, so as you're watching a video, try to remember as much of the content as possible, because at the end there is a quiz, okay, and it's a summer school score, okay, so try to remember as much as possible. Good job. I love this picture because it reminds me that we're not the only creatures on the planet that communicate. In fact, there's a lot of research about animal communication. Some research says that birds and humans can actually communicate. So I find that very interesting. The speaking test has 3 parts. So part 1 is, obviously it's the easiest. And this is the time when you should try to relax and just have a conversation with the examiner. Then part 2 is called the long turn, and the reason for that is that you must speak for 2 minutes without interruption. Okay, so it's your opportunity just to keep speaking on the topic. And then part 3 is based on part 2. But some of the questions are more abstract. Now, as you can see, part 1 is very familiar territory. Okay, there's no surprises. You'll be asked questions about your everyday life. For example, people around you, your friends, your family, your classmates. Places, your home, the city, the country, whatever. You know, it'll all be very, very simple questions that you'll be very comfortable answering. Then preferences, okay, your favorite music, your favorite sport. Okay, so it's all very, very simple. It's about getting you relaxed into the mode of communication. And routines also. Okay, you can talk about your routine, something you do every day, something you do a lot. Okay, so part 2 is a little bit more difficult, but not rocket science. It's about description. So you might be asked to describe a well-known person, a shop that you like to go to, a special gift, okay, that you gave to somebody, an interest or a hobby, or time that you help somebody. Remember, it's very important that you answer the question, okay? So the question about gift, for example, it's about a gift that you gave somebody. Don't speak about a gift that somebody gave you, okay? Listen, and if you don't understand a question, it's very important that you just say, I don't understand, could you please repeat it? So this is all about communication, okay? Don't worry about not knowing it. If you don't know, no matter what part of the test, if you don't know the answer, just communicate. I don't know. Okay? Easy. Okay, let's talk about part 3. Okay. This is where you need to know about the world around you. Okay? So, as I said before, if you don't know an answer, you need to communicate your way out of that. Just saying no or giving an opinion or whatever. But here we have, for example, just have a look at the second question. It says, do you think advertisements featuring celebrities can have a negative effect on young people? Okay, just over here, or is it over here? I'm not sure. There is an example. I googled this question, and right there is an article that I can read to put some ideas into my head. Okay, obviously you're not looking to remember and to repeat in the test. That is not a good idea. So what you're looking to do is to read and to get some knowledge about these topics, and then if there's a question, you will remember some of the knowledge and you can paraphrase it in your own words. Okay, yes, you're using ideas that you got online or from a friend or your parents or whatever, but you're communicating it in your own language. Okay, you're not repeating it. You're not a parrot. You're not a parrot, so you're not going to repeat it. You're not going to learn. Learning off answers is a really bad idea. Okay? Okay, in this next slide, we're having a look at fluency and coherence. Fluency and coherence. What does that mean? Okay, so if you look at the 3 subtopics, it explains it quite clearly. Avoid silence or hesitation. Speak at length on each topic and use words to connect ideas. Okay, so hesitation. So too much time between words. Okay, it's not, if you pause a lot, if you're thinking and you're trying to think about what you should say next, if you do that too much, it's not fluent. It's not interesting for the listener. Okay, so speak at length on each topic. So the examiner says, what do you do in your spare time? Okay, the short answer, not a good idea. Okay, I love shopping, not a good idea. You need to expand. You need to, because it's in your interest. The longer your questions are, the less questions that you will be asked. So it's a good idea. That's another reason why it's a good idea to have long answers. Okay, so the long answer is, I love shopping because I love trying on new clothes and I always feel more confident when I'm wearing a new outfit. So this is a very good sentence, and this applies to anybody that goes shopping. We all love to put on new clothes. It always makes us feel special, right? So there you go. So here's an easy question that uses words to connect ideas. Okay, so do you like the question? Do you like going out with your friends? And your answer might be, yes, I do. It's great to be able to chill out and catch up with their news. Also, we often go to new places, which I really like. So it's very clear. In yellow we have the words that connect the ideas, and also. At the bottom of the screen there's some more very common words for connecting ideas. Right, this slide relates to lexical resource. Lexical just means referring to vocabulary in a particular language. Okay, so the 3 subtopics will help you understand more. So use a wide range of vocabulary. So use idioms and collocations, and paraphrase, which is very important. Now, wide range of vocabulary. Topics include home, education, crime, diet, fitness, health, work, IT, environment, science and the arts. You need to be able to talk about all of these topics because you never know which one will come up in the exam. Okay. Looking at previous exams will help you to understand how the questions are framed, how they're asked, so you'll be comfortable with being able to answer them. Okay, then we've got idioms. Now, an idiom, what is an idiom? Most of you probably know this already. It's a group of words that are different in meaning to the words when separated. So here's a good example. I find this really hilarious, really funny. Break a leg. If you say to somebody break a leg, it's nothing to do with breaking a leg. Nothing at all. It actually means good luck. Good luck. So these two characters on the slide, they're actors. So let's say your friends are they're in a play and they're about to go on stage. So you might say, break a leg. Okay. Which means have a good performance. Enjoy yourselves. Okay, so we're talking about collocations, which are, as you can see at the top of the screen, two or more words that are commonly used together. So in this conversation here, I can see at least 6 collocations. So, can you see them? Well, let's have a look. Get up is a collocation. Have a shower. Have a shower. We can say take a shower. Have a shower. Another collocation. Get dressed is another collocation. Okay, so you're familiar with these words that are used with other words. It's very simple. Paraphrasing is very important in the whole IELTS exam. In every part of the exam, paraphrasing is really important. And as you can see on the slide, paraphrasing is all about using synonyms, words with the same meaning. Okay, this is very, very important. You have to learn synonyms. Absolutely. You need to know synonyms. And synonyms don't work in every situation. The same synonym. How do you say that word? How do you say that word again? Synonym. Synonyms don't work. The same one doesn't work in every situation. So you have to learn them in context. Okay, just like phrasal verbs, you have to learn them in context. This is very, very important. Okay. Now, so as you can see here, the question is, do you like cucumbers? And the answer, do you mean those long, green, oddly shaped vegetables? So the answer is showing that you understand what a cucumber is and that you can describe it. You can talk about it without using the word cucumber. So this is a very good technique in communication. Okay. By the way, you should eat cucumbers, especially organic cucumbers, because they're very nutritious. Okay, good job. So why is grammar important? An old friend of mine who has been teaching for a million years explains it like this. If you have a house, if you want to build a house, you need bricks. No bricks, no house. It's the same with language. To speak a language, you need grammar. No grammar or bad grammar is like bad communication. No communication. So, you know, the better the grammar, the better the message. It's very simple. Okay? Now, so you have to speak in complex sentences. So this slide highlights complex sentences, a simple sentence and a complex sentence. Okay? And making a complex sentence, you just have to use some linking words or phrases, just like in the example. Okay? Now, and at the end of the slide, there's some examples of grammatical forms. So, noun, adjective, determiner, that's like a. There's a banana on the plate in front of me. A is a determiner. Okay, an adverb. An adverb modifies a verb. So I'm speaking slowly. Okay, you're listening carefully. Okay, so finally we're talking about pronunciation. You will be marked on your pronunciation. Okay, so pronounce words accurately. For example, you need to stop saying geography and photography. Okay, geography, photography. I know it's not easy. You've been saying this for how many years now? 6 years in Pratham and 6 years in Matthew. So you've been saying it for 12 years. Geography. No, it's not. It's not going to work. Okay, so joining words together. Joining words together. I'm not sure why I'm laughing, but I just think it's great the way you guys say geography. I find that hilarious. So, joining words together. When one word ends with a consonant sound and the next word starts with the same consonant sound, we link the sounds. For example, red dress, red dress, red dress. We have two D sounds together. So the two words share the sound. Red dress, red dress. My girlfriend has a beautiful red dress, red dress, red dress. Okay, red dress. Okay, now intonation. What is intonation? It conveys difference of expressive meaning. Okay, so surprise and anger. Surprise. Oh my God, you won the lottery. Isn't that amazing? That's fantastic. We can go to the moon and get away from COVID. Yo, absolutely fantastic. So stress uses rhythm and, intonation uses stress and rhythm. Okay, more about that later. Okay, going off topic for a second. I am fascinated with dolphins. Absolutely fascinated with dolphins. And do you know that they speak a language? Have you any idea what the language is called? Does anybody know? I'll give you a hint. Okay, I'll give you a hint. People in China speak Chinese. So, what do dolphins speak? Can anybody guess? The answer is Dolphinese. Yes, and there's actually lots of research about Dolphinese. We don't understand it. Of course we don't understand it. Why? Well, we're a different creature, we're a different species. We don't live in the sea. We don't share their lives. So how can we know what makes them tick, right? For a start. So, anyway, Dolphinese. Now students, I know it's hard looking at a screen and listening to me. It's hard to focus, right? So if you want to take a break, you can pause the video and you can play Kahoot, okay? It's totally up to you, it's totally your choice. But this Kahoot will refresh what I've been talking about and add some more ideas or more information about the speaking test, okay? So it's totally up to you. If you don't want to play Kahoot, you can just carry on with watching the video, okay? Okay, for the rest of the lesson, we're going to focus on the use of different grammatical forms with a focus on phrasal verbs, okay? These phrasal verbs will be very useful in the IELTS speaking and in conversation in general. Okay, how to learn phrasal verbs. Well, let's talk about how not to learn phrasal verbs. Don't just learn off loads and loads and loads of phrasal verbs. That is a waste of time and it'll get you into trouble in the exam. You have to study them, repeat them, and then practice them in conversation. So practice using them in context, okay? Right, so phrasal verbs, what are they? Verbs, I'm sure most of you know this already. Verbs and prepositions. So one very easy example is walk out. Walk out. The movie was very boring, so I walked out. And there at the bottom of the slide you can see some examples of prepositions. So phrasal verbs are idiomatic. Now what does that mean? The meaning is different from the individual words. idiomatic comes from idiom. Okay, many of you already know this, I'm sure. So here is a very good example. It's an easy one that you all know. I picked an easy one because I want you to understand the concept. Okay. So, speak up. This child is looking up, maybe at the stars or at the moon. I know crazy people talk to the moon. But anyway, I hope the child's not crazy. But so speaking up is nothing to do with looking up, and speaking up. No, 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 no. You all know what speak up means. Yes, obviously. It's speak louder. Okay, the phrasal verb speak down is much more idiomatic. It has nothing to do with speaking down like this. No, no. It means to speak in an insulting way to somebody. Now, we should never do this because if you speak down to somebody, it makes them feel really bad. Okay? So, to speak to someone as if they are less mature, less intelligent, or less capable than they really are. Okay? Don't ever do this to anybody. Don't ever speak down to anybody. So here's two examples. I try not to speak down to my children when they ask me a serious question. Okay, this will apply to you in a few years when you have children. Okay, I hate the way my boss speaks down to me whenever I ask him to explain something. Okay, so some teachers speak down to their students. Has that ever happened to you? It's not a good feeling, right? This is a very common phrasal verb about work or study. Knuckle down. Now, these are your knuckles, okay? It's nothing to do with your knuckles. Nothing at all. So it's an example of another idiomatic phrasal verb. So it's a little hard to pronounce. Can you say it? Knuckle down, knuckle down, knuckle down. Okay, let me hear. Very good. Well done. Knuckle down. What does it mean? It means to start focusing on your work or study. Here's the example. To get a band 7.5 in IELTS, I really need to knuckle down and do lots of practice. In IELTS Part 1, there's a big chance that you are going to be asked a question like, can you cook? Can you drive? Can you paint? Okay, so this is a very useful phrasal verb for this question. Get round to, get round to, get round to. Can you say that? Get round to, yes. What does it mean? To do something you intended to do but not had time. Okay, so here's the example. The examiner says, can you cook? And you might say, I'd love to learn how to cook, but I just haven't got round to it. I've been too busy. Okay, this is a very useful phrasal verb about hobbies. Okay, while away, while away. Now, we join the words together when we say it. While away, while away. Okay, this is a very big part of English communication, joining words together like that. Okay, what does it mean? To spend time in a relaxed way, to while away. It's a very positive statement. Okay, and in context, how would you use it? I love to while away the afternoon watching movies. Yes, we all love to watch Netflix, right? So I love to while away the afternoon watching Netflix. Look at another phrasal verb about that we can use when talking about hobbies. Brush up on. Brush up on. The three words go together. To brush up on. Brush up on. Can you say that? Brush up on. Let me hear. Very good. Brush up on. Brush up on. Okay. So it's very, yes, those three words go together. Brush up on. Brush up on. Okay. It means to improve a skill you haven't practiced for some time. So, for example, I love playing golf, but I need to brush up on it as I haven't played for a long time. This does not apply to me. I find golf very boring. But many of you want to be in business. You want to have your own businesses. You tell me that you want to be businessmen. So the golf course is a place where a lot of business is discussed. Okay, so it might be a very good strategy to learn how to play golf. In IELTS Speaking Part 3, you might be asked a question like, how will shopping change in the future? Or how will the news change in the future? Or how will the economy change in the future? So we're going to look at 5 phrasal verbs that will help you answer these questions. Right, let's have a look at the phrasal verb to bank on. To bank on. To expect and hope something will happen. To bank on. To bank on. Can you say that? To bank on. To bank on. Good job. So in context, I'm banking on the COVID situation getting better in June when lots of people will be vaccinated. Okay? To bank on. Now, let's have a look at to be in for. Be in for. Be in for. To be about to have or experience something. Okay? So, what in context, we could say, the examiner might ask, how do you think shopping will change? And you could respond, many real shops are in for a hard time as lots of people will choose to shop online. Let's have a look at pan out, pan out, pan out. As you can hear, the two words go together, pan out, pan out. To result or develop in a certain way. Okay, so it means to result or develop in a certain way. So in context, what do you think about the future? And you might say, I think life will get better, but we'll have to see how things pan out. Okay, let's have a look at run up against. Run up against. Run up against. The three words come together. Run up against. Can you try and say that? Run up against. Very good. Run up against. Yes. It means to face problems or difficult situations. So, the question might be, what do you think about the recent virus wave? And you might respond, I think we are going to run up against lots of problems. Let's hope not. So let's finish with a phrasal verb that you all know. Figure out, figure out, figure out. The two words come together. Figure out. Okay. You all love math, right? So you spend a lot of time figuring out solutions. So yeah, this is the meaning is to find the solution, to figure out. So the examiner might ask, what do you think about COVID-19? And you might respond, it's complicated and it's not easy to figure out a solution. Right, students, thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. I hope you're still with me after all that. Okay, now don't forget, based on what you've just heard, there is a quiz. Okay, so you can access it via the QR code, or there's a link on the school platform that you can follow. Okay, please try. It's a summer school score. Try. If you don't try, it's a big fat 0. Okay, I don't want to give you a fat 0 for this, so please try. Thank you. Right now the average score is about, I think it's 7.5 out of 10, so it's not that difficult. Okay, see you later. Take care. Stay safe.